Good morning, students. Today we are going to see new development in trademark law. Actually, this fifth unit we are going to see trademark law brought up par with international practices. What are the international practices we are going to see? To bring Indian trademark law in the line with international practices and to ensure implementation of India's commitment under the TRIPS. Already we studied in the first unit TRIPS, trade regularity methods. India replaced the Trade and Merchandise Marks Act 1958 with the Trademark Act 1999. Some changes under the 1990 Act. What are the changes we are going to see? First one is service marks for the first time made protectable through registration. Service mark, when we are doing it the first time, it is protectable through registration itself. It will be protectable. The definition of trademarks, what they are telling, the procedure for registration of trademark expected by the removing earlier system of part A and part B registration. In addition, on some other thing, only a single application need now be filled for registration of the trademark in a different classes. Before and all, the separate applications was there. So now it is going to be compressed as a single application, but different classes. Classes we already studied in the fourth unit. Each and every food material have a separate classes, service have a separate classes, equipments have a separate classes, plant have a separate classes, isn't it? Like that. 1999 Act also provides for the classification in conformity with the recognized international classification of goods and services. Okay, the next one is the period of registration and renewal has been increased from 7 to 10 years. I already told 7 years we have to register. After that, again we have to register 7 years written. So this period also has to be registered. That is the current situation. The definition of trademark infringement has been broadened to give protection beyond the use of identical and deceptive similar marks. Identical in the sense same similar marks, isn't it? So that one, how it is going to be rectified, that is also the relation of the goods which they are registered. Actually, same identical words will be there, means before and all it will was burned. But if a trademark infringement act, now it is going to be talking about identical and deceptive similar marks, they will be differentiating with the type of goods and services, depends upon that. Okay, the action for infringement of the trademark passing off can be filled in a district court with whose jurisdiction the plaintiff, where the proprietor of the trademark will be residing, there itself they will be filing the cases. Business, again the earlier law which is required suit to file the defendant places only we have to do that. But now it is going to be totally changed. Who trademark owner where he is residing, there only the case is going to be filed. Under the new law, one more thing, both the registered and unregistered trademark can be assigned with or without the goodwill of the business. Even without goodwill of the business also, it's going to be registered, they are saying. And recently, by the way of Trademark Amendment Rule 2014, the fees respect to trademark filling is have been increased. In some certain cases, the fees for expected examination have been increased. Further, that means expedited in the sense we are doing searching the process. No, that one it will be. Further, trademark registry recently issued on office order, little with respect to alterations. Some small changes has been made in that. In this order, a list of substantial alterations, continuous alterations will be there. That alterations, which if any small changes I want to change a color, I want to change a size, that and all, the alteration will permanently they are eradicating. And the second one is production to geographical indicator. We already said geographical indicator in the sense particular place like basmati rice, we can say Darjeeling tea, Alfonso mangoes, Hyderabad grapes. So these are all the geographically that product will be produced in the particular field. That also have some changes they brought it. These products have been exported on the regular basis, demonstrating in a particular place high quality of the product, and therefore such production is required like that they brought in. This is called the geographical production indications. And copyright law, what it is going to be modified in the sense 2012 amendment in copyright, which were made in Indian copyright law, compliant with World Intellectual Property Office, isn't it? Corporate trading. Now it is going to be a small change, ensure that fair use of surveys in the digital era, but providing special fair use of provisions. All the things, okay, friendly amendments, special provisions for disabled, amendments for facilitating access to works and other amendments. All these things has to be brought in the copyright law, a small modification. And additionally, government is considered further amendments in Indian copyright law to help some piracy, continuing the piracy. Okay, so mistakes we have to be rectified. Future amendments would provide for the greater resilience against infringement through more effective legislative administrative frameworks. Okay, mainly. And what it is going to be, its amendments also offer police-wide powers to conduct secret raids. They can chase them, they can destroy the infringement products, provide faster criminal proceedings, and increasing the punishment of the piracy. If without permission they are doing all the things, items in the sense, the power has been given and they can go and do the work like secret raid. They can go and they can catch the people automatically. They will stop the product going to be the market. Patent law and more aligned with the TRIPS. What are the things? Modification in Indian patent law have been made in accordance with TRIPS, that we know very well, isn't it? Now, so reversing the burden of the proof investment suits for the present, creating uniform period of patent protection of 20 years of all the categories of inventions. 20 years they are providing. Next, during 2014, Indian Patent Office released guidelines pertaining to issue the pharmaceutical patent. Separately, they are having. The guidelines primarily incorporate features of various code decisions. So, as to assist the patent office is establishing uniform standard and uniform examinations, also granting permissions. Okay, these guidelines are expected to bring uniformity. That is a major in the patent. So they want to brought some uniformity in the patent and registration, so that they brought this small changes in the patent. Next, furthermore, the recent past and various administration procedure mechanism have been improved in intellectual property law. The infrastructure of the Indian Patent Office has been improved greatly. Okay, Indian Patent 2014 recently introduced the third category of applications also. Okay, next, production for plant varieties and rights of farmers. Already we have seen a plant in the sense type of plantation, field works, what are the plants we are using and where it is and what are the procedure we are following. Okay, that we have studied in the fourth unit already. India giving effect provision of TRIPS agreement enacted the production of the plant varieties. Sometimes merging the two vegetables and producing two combination of others like that we have studied, no, that one. Act recognize and protects the rights of the farmers, because some of the farmers they will be using some strategy and tricks. They are cultivating more amount of unit of products. In such cases, it will be helpful for the people, making available of the genetic resources for the development. New design law. This is going to be talking about India enacted separate law for the protection of copyright and the industrial design. Industrial design, copyright in the sense we can give all things going to be a copyright, but here new design they brought industrial design separate copyright they brought. The design are 2000 repealed the earlier design are to 1911. What is that new? The new protects proprietor of a novel or original design or info and enforce right against infringers. So anybody do more practice more using that our products or our services or our design, they can have some different infringement. In the sense it will be useful for them. The new law incorporates the definition of the terms like original. That's going to be very original to specify what is the registrable design. In relation to the design, the term original includes design which grew old in themselves and new their application. Any design which new or original but not previously published in any country, whether India or other outside country, okay, which is not contradictory to the public order, and it should not be cross the morality of the registrable act. Okay, this new act amplify the definition of article under design. Actually, it says in the previous slide we studied that it's going to be talking about originality and what do you mean by the original? They said. Likewise, it give a correct definition of article as well as design also. Okay, and that to bring a conformity with the international acceptance. Definition provide wider protection. Okay. The design need not to be registered in more than one class. Almost we have nearly 35 classes we already discussed. In that class, this design where it will be coming. Actually, sometimes it will be comes under the colors. It will be comes under the product. It will be comes under the design. All separate classes will be there. But design in the sense it have a separate class and that only it will be considered. Okay, which is not the case under the earlier law. Earlier law we can register in the whether color also one design we can say each and everything we believe we categorize, isn't it? But here it will not be. This new law is brought in such a manner. The last one we are going to see the integrated circuit provision adopted. What is the integrated? That TRIPS agreement only going to be talking about semiconductor, conductor, integrated circuitous, especially EEE department students, they will used to know that all the information. Act provides for registration of original, inherently distinctive and not exploit layout designs. That's the major thing. Any misuse of the register layout design can be prevented by the an infringement act only. Okay, this act provides term of production for 10 years it will be providing. Okay, although in the Indian intellectual property law still in the stage of development, but same are very much in conformity with the international property. Okay, international intellectual property law. Actually, India is a signatory of the international convention. So it and it treats the included Paris Convention of the Production Industry of Property, where Berne Convention and the Copyright and the TRIPS agreement also. Just we are talking about very generally the other period of production protection available and the time cost taken to register an intellectual property. There are there are few major difference between the Indian and European intellectual property will be there. So some slight changes has to be brought and it was enforcement and now it is implemented in our India. So thank you. Next class we will see the internet infringements everything.